So yes, my name is Pilar Molina, and I work at the UNFPA Kenya country office. And I'm very happy to be here, and I want to thank RHNK and the Ministry of Health and all the colleagues and youth advocates that are here today. It's a pleasure for us to be joining this important conference. And on behalf of the UNFPA Population Fund Kenya, I extend our warmest gratitude and commend these efforts for convening this vital gathering that is at the heart of our mandate. This could not be more timely or pertinent as we convene at a pivotal moment as the world navigates a complex landscape characterized by both unprecedented challenges and significant innovations and technology advancements. In many parts of the region, Kenya included, we continue to witness the persistence of sexual and reproductive health and rights risk among adolescents, including new HIV infections, gender-based violence, child marriage, and teenage pregnancies, which compromise the ability of young people to realize their full potential. Negative outcomes like gender-based violence are now manifesting in alarming new forms, intensified by advances in technology. Technology-facilitated gender-based violence encompass online harassment, cyberbullying, doxing, and the non-consensual sharing of intimate images. It's increasingly persistent, prevalent, and particularly among young people. This digital abuse inflicts several psychosocial and social impacts, profoundly affecting the overall sexual and reproductive health and rights. And I think so far we have not touched in these conversations the importance of technology-facilitated GBV. Mental health disorders are equally on the rise with depression and anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorders, suicidal ideation, and self-harm. Substance abuse being the main disorders. And these all have a strong nexus on sexual and reproductive health and rights. Moreover, we are confronted with emergency threats arising from climate change, such as frequent and severe droughts, intense and erratic rainfall patterns leading to floods, rising temperatures, and disease outbreaks. These shocks disrupt healthcare, infrastructure, and supply chains, limiting access to sexual and reproductive health services like maternal care and family planning. And they further exacerbate existing vulnerabilities, leading to increased rates of gender-based violence. The proliferation of humanitarian crises driven by conflict and political instability also continue to be witnessed in the region. This creates environments where sexual and reproductive health and rights needs are high, but services are virtually non-existent. The drastic decline in global development funding, particularly for the sexual and reproductive health and rights agenda, poses a severe threat of reversing hard-won gains, making increased domestic financing by governments critically urgent. This situation is acutely felt in countries like Kenya, whose recent transition to lower middle-income country, coupled with the shifting global funding priorities and restricted donor policies, has led to a profound shortfalls. This action has, for instance, led to a 34% reduction in funding for family planning commodities. Growing opposition and pushback against the critical agenda of sexual and reproductive health and rights continue to be witnesses across many countries in the Africa region, including Kenya. This resistance, often fueled by conservative ideologies and misinformation, frequently targets topical issues like sexuality education and sexual and reproductive health services by adolescents and young people. The passage of restrictive laws and policies further compound this challenging situation, directly increasing young people's vulnerability to unintended pregnancies, sexually transmitted infections, unsafe abortions, and other sexual and reproductive health and right risk. But we know that amidst these challenges lie extraordinary opportunities, leveraging digital technologies for consultations, prescriptions, testing, can significantly improve access, particularly in restricted environments. Additionally, digital platforms can facilitate access to age-appropriate, evidence-based sexuality education by adolescents and young people, circumventing some traditional barriers. The voice of young people is equally becoming more and more powerful, demanding for the rights and spearheading the movement for change. This must be fully harnessed through strategic investment in youth movements and youth innovations for meaningful change to be realized. Existing evidence on key issues such as teenage pregnancy provide a perfect opportunity to foster dialogue on key sexual and reproductive health and rights issues among different stakeholders. Harmonizing national laws with regional and international human rights instruments can further leverage for SRH advocacy. Diversifying and increasing domestic financing. While global funding declines, there is an opportunity for African governments to increase domestic investment in sexual and reproductive health. This includes advocating for greater budget allocations to health, exploring innovative financing mechanisms such as development impact bonds, and forging and strengthening partnerships with the private sector. At UNFPA, we remain committed to deliver a world where every pregnancy is wanted, every childbirth is safe, and every young person's potential is fulfilled. These global priorities resonate deeply with the objectives of this conference, particularly when viewed through the lens of adolescents and youth sexual and reproductive health and rights. UNFPA Kenya remains steadfast in our partnership with the government, civil society, and youth-led organizations to advance these goals. We are committed to strengthening health systems, ensuring the availability of sexual and reproductive health commodities, advocating for supportive policies, and ensuring that young people have access to sexual and reproductive health information and services. And most importantly, fostering an environment when young people are not merely beneficiaries, but active agents of change. Thus, this conference provides an invaluable platform for evidence-informed conversations, sharing of best practices, and fostering partnerships that would translate knowledge into action. Let us leverage this opportunity to amplify the voices of adolescents and youth, strengthen multi-sectoral collaboration, champion innovative solutions, and advocate for increased investments. I'm confident that the discussions and collaborations forged during this conference will yield concrete strategies and renew commitments toward realizing the sexual and reproductive health and rights of all adolescents and youth. Let us work together to ensure that every young person in Kenya and across Africa has the opportunity to thrive, make their own choices, and live a life free from violence and discrimination, and realize their full potential. Asante sana.